Hey everyone, welcome to the last Hops and Highways episode of the year. Today is National Ugly Sweater Day, so Dormy and I are celebrating in style. We're super excited to have another special guest with us this week. We're joined today by Edward James, founder of the Asphalt Life community. Hey Edward.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're awesome. We're super excited to have you today. If you are not a member of Asphalt Life, you should be. It's a huge social media community. It's on Facebook and beyond, and it's growing every day. Members of the group, they share photos of their work. They ask questions about the jobs they're having, problems they're seeing, and thousands of members are there to help in an instant, and they're just really talking it through. And it's awesome to see everyone kind of building that community, and we're excited to have Edward with us to learn some more.
And thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of the show. I love what you guys do. This is a really awesome series, and I look forward to continue watching you guys and being a fan.
Cool. So before we get into the details with Edward, we always talk about a beer of choice this week. So this week I have the Holiday Cheer by Shiner, and it really feels like the holidays wrapped up in one can. There are notes of peach and roasted pecans, the perfect beer to enjoy this time of year. Jess, what are you drinking?
You know what? I have the exact same beer as you, and it's pretty delicious, I must say.
I have Modelo, just a blue collar Modelo. I believe it's a Pilsner. I'm not too privy to a lot of beers, but I do like this, and this is what I picked for today.
Hey, so you know Busch Light is my favorite beer, so we'll take it. And Edward, thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Awesome. So Edward, let's have you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your career in the industry and what brought you to working in asphalt and what is your current position?
Right on. So I am 34. I have started paving when I was about 14 or 15, helping a family company. I was tamping edges on driveways. I grew up in the paving industry. My family, I'm third generation. So I have two different sides of my family that own companies. One was residential, one was commercial, both non-union. I worked for them for some time until I went union. Then I got into the bigger jobs, commercial parking lot paving. I got on a paver eventually, started running screw, started running the paver. And right now I'm a union paver operator. And I've been in it my whole life. I've never done anything but pave. I know it's not too exciting, but that is my whole entire life. It's all I've ever done. And I've started at the very, very bottom, and I'm just trying to work my way up as much as I can and trying to go bigger and better every day.
That is such an awesome story. And Edward and I, we talk a lot, and I didn't even know anything about that. So the industry means so much to you. And is that really why you decided to start the Asphalt Life group? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to just bring a place like together that everybody could discuss what was going on, because I know one major thing about the asphalt community is you be on a job and something can happen and you're stuck, and there's never really answers for anything. Like, it's every job is so different and every project is so different from each other. Sometimes you want a different opinion or a different point of view, and that's why I first started it, because I wanted a place where guys that were in a jam could post and maybe get some outside opinions or get a different point of view of it, or have someone else look at it and say, well, maybe you should try it this way, or maybe you should do this. I didn't think it was going to grow into what it did. And I love that it is, because now we're global, and it's insane because people pave so different everywhere. And I know that I've learned so much just watching other people pave and just keeping an open mind about paving. There's so many ways to do it, and there's not one right way, and every project is so different that I just wanted to have a place that a community could come together without all the bashing, without all the trash talking, that was fun and fair for everyone. And if you had a jam, you were able to have thousands of people look at it and maybe help you out, just a friendly group for everybody.
That's awesome. It's basically like an open forum for anybody to discuss and share pictures and things like that. Why do you think that's important, Edward, to have an outlet like Asphalt Life for people to share their work, their questions, and their stories?
Well, I think it's good, especially because you can get caught up in your own work so much and you can forget that people pave every day, every place, every state, every country around the planet. You know, if you've been working for a company for so long, sometimes you forget that everyone else is out there doing it, and they can make you believe that we're the only ones that do this, or we're the only ones that do this right, or that's not true. Everybody, everywhere, every day is paving globally, and there's so many different ways. And I believe it's important because it gives you, it's free education if you want it. If you want it from somebody else, it's free opinions. It's free information. And I believe in our industry, that kind of information is hard to come by. And that's why I think it's important, just because the availability of information for anybody who wants it. It doesn't matter how old you are, how long you've been paving. Greenhorns and veterans are on there just talking about it and agreeing and disagreeing. And it's cool because it's just a safe place to do it, you know, and that's kind of why I think it's important. It's a safe place to talk about what we're doing. And I don't know, maybe it could help someone along the line, you know?
Yeah, and that's so great because I think a lot of times the mindset is like, well, those guys are my competition, so I don't want them to know what I'm doing. And that's really not what the industry is about. We are trying to build roads that last a long time, quality roads, and we're all kind of in this together, and we're going to cheers to that.
Cheers to that, right on.
So, Edward, kind of what is your hope for the Asphalt Life group in the future? And I know we kind of talked about, you know, a meetup when we all can get together again, but what else do you kind of see this group evolving to?
So my goal is to maintain the largest position. So right now we are the largest paving community on planet Earth. I want to maintain that, and I want to get out to the vendors more. I want to become a brand that is recognized globally. I want it to grow so we're at all the shows. We have a booth at all the shows that we give people a place to post their work. I guess I kind of wanted to keep doing what it's doing. I didn't have many expectations for the group when I started because Facebook groups are everywhere and there's so many. And I just wanted to keep doing what it's doing and hopefully maintain the level of kindness, fairness, and information that we've had going.
That's awesome. So how can people find Asphalt Life and connect with you?
So if we do have Instagram, if you're on Instagram, we have Twitter, and on Facebook and YouTube. And all you have to do is search in any of those forums, Asphalt Life. And I know on Facebook, it gives you an option to hit groups. If you just type in Asphalt Life groups, we should be the first to pop up. Same with YouTube. If you type it in, it should pop up. And I usually put links in each of the social media accounts to take you to the main Facebook page, which we have. And pretty much just search Asphalt Life and it should pop right up.
So you're sporting the gear and the logo. Do you want to talk a little bit about how everybody can find that stuff?
Yes. So there is, we have two little things on Facebook. One is the group, and then we have a Facebook page. The page is where we like to conduct the business, and that's where I will update the members on the newest gear. So right now we have shirts, we have masks, mouse pads, keychains, little stuff like that. I'm still kind of exploring with all the options. We made some hats, but I think I'd like to get them embroidered instead of decal like this. We do have decals. And right now, if you want to find decals, you just go to our page. I'll make sure that there's a link to it in our group on Facebook in the announcement section that will take you there. So if you're interested in any of the merchandise, it'll be on the Facebook page, because I know that you're supposed to set up as a vendor on Facebook, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just so new at all this. I'm trying to get it all together because it's going so fast. But the Asphalt Life Facebook page, that's where.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we post links to the page also below this video so you guys can find it real easily too. And so now, Ed, we're going to ask you some fun questions. What is your favorite thing about working in the asphalt industry? Is it the smell, the people, both? What else? I mean, it's just a great industry to work in, obviously, and we want to know what's your favorite thing.
My favorite thing about it is the personality clash. I really enjoy all the different personalities because you never know who you're going to meet or what kind of personality you're going to run into. And it's funny because there's people of every education level and every background that do this. And it's really, to me, the dynamics of a bunch of people working towards a common goal in the heat is what my favorite part is, because it's teamwork. You're a part of a team. And I've always liked being on teams, and when I was in school playing sports and whatnot, it kind of reminds me of that. So I enjoy the camaraderie of it. That's what I like, being a part of a team, and the personality clash is always fun.
Cool. What has been the most challenging or most memorable project that you've worked on?
Let's see. So I would say in all rights, a lot more challenging. However, if I were to find challenging, I would say the biggest challenge is making water run to faraway areas on a very low grade. So there is a entertainment place in my state called Dave & Buster's. It's just kind of like a big venue where they have tons of adult video games. It's like for kids and adults. They have pool tables. I mean, it's giant. We had to make water run and zigzag through islands for almost an eighth of a mile to get the fall to the lowest part of the parking lot. And it was probably working with less than 2% fall in some of these areas. And you had to make water snake around. I'll never forget it. It was probably 10 years ago, but that was the hardest project I was ever on. And it's a place that everyone goes to, so you didn't want to mess it up either, So maybe the pressure is what made it so hard, but we had to make water run a really long way. And I don't know if that was just a engineering fault. They didn't want drains everywhere. They just had drains at the low side of the lot. But I think making water run is the hardest part.
That does sound like a challenging job for sure. So our favorite question that we've asked all of our guests: what is your number one thing you can't wait to get back doing once the pandemic is finally over?
Okay, so the one thing I can't wait to do is I miss my church. I'm a Catholic. I miss my community, and I can't wait to get back out there and to be a part of my church community, to give hugs, to shake hands, to be back around just all the people that I care about. And the families, we're still getting together within reason and doing the distancing and all that, but I miss my community. I miss being a part of my community, and I can't wait to get back to that, because I like socializing, and I'm a very social person, and I like being around people, and I feel like it's good for me. So that's what I can't wait to do.
I feel that 100%. And we really want to thank Edward for joining us this week. It was so much fun. And to all of you watching, make sure you send us a message if you want to be a guest on a future episode. So cheers, Edwards, and really thank you for all that you're doing for our industry. So most of the time we talk about news at this time of the show, and there was some news this week, but instead of going into that, we were going to give a brief road building year in review and talk about the top 10 news articles that brought in the most traffic over the year. And so one of the most read articles in 2020 was our recently released State of the Road Building Industry. And this article is full of insight into what 2021 will hold for contractors and our experts. They're really optimistic about the new year and that it will hold the promise of an infrastructure bill. And that will create some good paying jobs. It will improve citizens' quality of life and ensure economic vitality for years to come. We're going to post the link to all of these articles so you can check them out again. But that is the number 10.
Another story that piqued readers' curiosity was, of course, about the election impacts. You guys wanted to know where both candidates stood on topics of infrastructure and also what they would do to address funding and regulation burden.
So we talk a lot about the Highway Trust Fund and about how to fund it on the show, and it's definitely a topic that people are interested in. And one trending story was about the trust fund going broke by the end of 2021. And according to the Congressional Budget Office, current baseline budget projections, spending from government's collective trust funds is projected to exceed income by 18 billion in 2021. And that deficit will grow to 502 billion by 2030 without congressional action to change how we manage this trust fund.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This year, the Women of Asphalt group took the time to shine a spotlight on ladies of the asphalt industry, and they created a list of 20 women to watch in 2020. And you guys wanted to know who the ladies were. The 20 ladies selected are industry game changers. They are in leadership positions, influencers, thought leaders, and even newcomers to the asphalt industry. All the winning nominees have demonstrated success in the asphalt industry, affected positive change, served as a mentor, and given back to their community.
Yeah, so we don't talk about it enough, but if you're looking for women or you're looking for workers, you need to look at the ladies and have them join their crew because they can work hard and you can teach them how to do it. So the top 20 women to watch, they're going to be game changers, and we can't wait to see what they're doing. So another story that was trending is about COVID-19, and whether your asphalt crew consisted of 5 members or 500, you know that the coronavirus has impacted the way your company operated this year. And so another top story that trended on our website talked about the 5 ways that your company can do so safely. We talked about cleaning and sanitation, PPE, increasing communication, and more in order to keep your company up and running during these uncertain times. And here is where we'll take a beer break and have our weekly cheers to the end of this pandemic. Cheers, sorry.
One of these times it's got to work, right?
I hope so. I mean, you know, wishing and hoping.
So another COVID-19 issue on the job site this year was safety, as Jess stated, to ramp up mask requirements and other things like that. So a trending article on the website talked about how to mitigate those challenges while keeping workers safe in hot weather. The article suggested workers should avoid overexertion by taking frequent water breaks when necessary, but should ensure that they are not sharing water bottles or cups when hydrating. Another preventative measure that can be instituted by employers is to designate a specific individual to be present at the worksite to monitor workers and environmental conditions as the day progresses.
Yeah, I know that story doesn't really ring true in Wisconsin right now, but if you're working still in Florida, you want to make sure if you have to wear your mask and all that PPE to be safe while you're doing it, and don't get too hot and have heat stress because we don't want that. So another challenge in 2020, and it's been actually a challenge for years, is hiring. And one story people were reading dealt with hiring the new generation of workers, and that's the Gen Zs. These workers are highly motivated, they're ready to learn, and they want to be mentored. I know there's been some flack on millennials, but Gen Zs are a completely different set of workers. They're younger, they're going to be integral in helping you move the industry forward in terms of technology adoption. And while they might be expecting higher pay rates, they're known to be intensely loyal. And so we have tons of tips to hire and recruit these workers in the article, so make sure you check it out.
Speaking of, PPP loans were a huge topic in 2020. So businesses needed to know how to apply for them and then be forgiven for those loans when Congress announced the programs. And experts say there may be some long-term revenue generating challenges that come from taking advantage of the Paycheck Protected Program. Mouthful. Assuming that these loans are forgiven in 2021, this could dramatically affect billing rates and proposals starting in 2022, when the 2021 rates will be approved. Depending on how a firm contracts are structured, they may be required to adjust the prior year's billing to the audited overhead rate, or they might just use the new rate when it is approved. Make sure you check out the article for more details. But before we get to the top 2 stories of the year, I think we need a drink. Cheers.
Cheers. So this article goes all the way back to May, and the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration announced major changes to the hours of service regulations, and this was the second most popular story this year on our website. The changes made by the FMCSA hours of service rule are better for the industry, and they gave truckers more options when planning their days. The revisions help drivers reach their destination safely without feeling like they've got to race against the clock to comply with federal mandates.
And the top story of 2020 on forconstructionpros.com/asphalt was not surprising at all. In July, at the height of the first wave of the pandemic, project cancellations were sweeping the nation, and billions of dollars worth of transportation projects were being delayed or canceled as state and local governments made spending cuts due to the coronavirus pandemic. At that time, at least 14 states and 19 local authorities delayed or canceled roads, transit, and airport projects worth $8.58 billion.
That's insane. But data in November showed that the country added 84,000 net new jobs in October. And during the last 6 months, the industry added 789,000 jobs, recovering 73% of those jobs lost during earlier stages of the coronavirus pandemic. So these projects, they're coming back, maybe slowly, and maybe not until 2021, but they're coming back, and we are going to drink to that. Cheers.
With congressional leaders finalizing another $900 billion coronavirus relief plan and vaccines rolling out across the country, we are really hopeful 2021 will turn around and we'll only have good news to share.
Well, that's it for us. Thanks for joining us on Hops and Highways. We really loved sharing our Friday afternoons with you all in 2020, and we can't wait to see you all again in 2021. Have a safe and happy holiday, guys. Take care. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Cheers.
Watch Hops and Highways live every Friday at 3 p.m. on Asphalt Contractors' Facebook page, or catch the replay on forconstructionpros.com/videos.